most dangerous moments in leadership is when everyone in the room agrees with you. It feels good, it feels efficient, and of course, it feels reassuring. But more often than not, it is a warning sign. Because when consensus comes too easily, blind spots grow quietly, and history is full of companies that failed not because they lacked intelligence, but because they lacked challenge. Early in my career, I had no background in produce, no experience in logistics, and no understanding of the industry's unwritten rules. I was in every sense of the word an outsider. So I did the only thing I knew how to do. I asked questions. I asked questions like, why do we ship it this way? Why is food priced like that? Why do we accept these losses as normal? And why can't this process be changed? At first, the reactions were polite, then puzzled, and then occasionally, of course, irritated. Because I was questioning things that everyone else had taken for granted for years. Things that had always been done that way. But something interesting happened. Some of those questions exposed inefficiencies, risks, and assumptions no one had revisited in a long time. Without realizing it, I was acting as a natural red team. Years later, I came across the concept formally in the book titled Red Teaming. In the military, a red team is deliberately assigned to challenge plans, assumptions, and strategies. Their job is not to agree, their job is to stress test thinking, identify vulnerabilities, and think like the adversary. They ask a lot of questions. Questions like, what are we assuming that might be wrong? What if the opposite happens? Where could this plan fail and why? The goal is not to slow the decision. The goal is to prevent confident mistakes. And as I read that book, I had a realization that stopped me cold. I used to be that person. After many years in leadership, with experience, success, and battle scars, something subtle happened. I started recognizing patterns quickly. I trusted my instincts, often correctly. And slowly, I stopped questioning as deeply as I used to. Not because I was arrogant, but because experience creates comfort. And comfort is dangerous. I realized I had become part of the system that once frustrated me. The same system that says, we already know that. We have seen that before. That is when I decided to do something intentional. I introduced red teaming as a leadership discipline. In major decisions, investments, strategy shifts, acquisitions, operational changes, we would assign a red team member. Not to undermine leadership, not to play politics, but to challenge thinking openly and safely. The role was simple. Question assumptions. Test downside scenarios. Argue the opposite position. Think like competitors, regulators, or even the market. And most importantly, they were protected. No retaliation, no labeling as negative or not aligned. Because alignment without challenge is not leadership. It is blind compliance. At first, it was uncomfortable. People were not used to challenging senior leadership in public forums. Some thought it slowed decisions. Others worried it created friction. But something else happened very quickly. Decisions became sharper, risks surfaced earlier, and ideas improved before execution, not after failure. People realized that red teaming was not about being right. It was about being prepared. Over time, red teaming changed more than decisions. It changed culture. People felt permission to speak. Meetings became more honest, and leadership credibility increased, not decreased. Because when leaders invite challenge, they demonstrate confidence, not weakness. In a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world in which we live, no single leader, no matter how experienced, can see everything. Red teaming institutionalizes humility. Here is what I learned from applying this principle. Number one, experience is a strength until it becomes a blindfold. The more successful you are, the more dangerous unchallenged thinking becomes. Number two, disagreement is not disloyalty. The absence of dissent is far more dangerous than conflict. Number three, better decisions happen before execution. Red teaming finds flaws when they're cheap to fix, not after they become crisis. Number four, leaders must invite opposition. If you wait for challenge to appear organically, it is already too late. Number five, the devil's advocate protects the organization, not the ego. Red teams exist to serve the mission, not individual pride. Looking back, one of the most valuable evolution in my leadership was rediscovering the mindset I had as a young outsider. The courage to ask questions that made people uncomfortable. Red teaming gave me a way to institutionalize curiosity, to protect the organization from its own overconfidence. Because the greatest risk in leadership is not making the wrong decision. It's believing your decision cannot be wrong. And in the end, the strongest leaders aren't those surrounded by agreement. They are the ones brave enough to invite challenge before the market, competitors, or reality do it for them. Thank you for listening to Through the Journey. Every story shared is a reminder that growth never stops. And that's exactly what drives us at Intech Consultant, where our global experts help businesses grow, innovate, and transform. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and visit intechconsultant.com to learn more. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep pushing your journey ahead.